Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ahmad Lamayor. On this video I'm gonna teach you how to handle exception on a JavaCompute node. So I create the HTTP application where I use the HTTP input and HTTP replay. On that I using compute node. On a compute node I just put because this database is a fake name, there's no such data source names with this data. So that would cause to create the exception. Once the exception get created, I will catch it on a JavaCompute node and handle it. So let's do it. How it look? Let me send a message. Once I send a message, they come right here. They cause the exception. The exception look like that. Let me bring that one. This is the exception. So the first time they say exception list, and on exception list that has a child of recovery exception. On recovery exception there's a more child in it. There would be a data. On a data there's another child. It's a recovery exception. On recovery exception there's another child. It's a database exception, and keep doing that, and data is repeating. And right here would be a catalog. The severity is 3, like something happened to it. Is the 3 is the severe one. Number is the code of the exception, and text like what happened. Like the exception is, if you read the last text, usually said, so you see there's a text. It said data source name not find it, default driver specified. So it is insert and text. We will pick it up from insert and text. So how should we pick all the text and display it on our replay message, or log it? If you want to log it, you could log it to any place it. So how should we do that? Let's start it. So I will leave the exception like that. If you check, you see recovery exception, and there's another child in it, and another child in it, another, and there's also insert. On insert there's a text in that and data on that, so there's too many of that. So I will leave it like that. And also I already clean up all the code, the extra code. You could even clean that one if you want. You see, I just left the evaluate function. I just said through the exception. Once I do that through the exception, that means even there's an exception, that's okay, we will handle it. So ignore it, not gonna cause it. So we're using that one, so that way we at this time we will ignore, but we will handle it one by one, try and catch. But at this time I will ignore the try and catch, because that way it will make it a little bit complicated. It is hard to understand. There will be too many code, so that's why I make it a little bit simple. You will understand it. What is it? So first, if you read this code, I could even delete this one too, but you will rewrite it back because we need the output. We're using that one for the output. Message would go from our output back, and we're using inMessage to get to this position. inMessage, we're getting to this position, which is a blob. We will replace it back to XML, and also we will use this one to create the output message. This is the default constructor. So, and we also create another variable which we sign the object of MbAssembly, which has all the data and output data. So let's go to the exception and pick whatever data we need. We need file name, line, function, type, severity, number, text, and also this text is too many places repeated. We will collect that one. We will concatenate each one to one text and replay on a one, and it will look better. The way it look right now is hard because you will look for each one, but we will collect all of them. So how we do that? Again, we need to come to this position. I will say MbMessage. If I say MbMessage, because I'm referring to if you open that one, I already have it referring to this class. I want to create. They already create this one, the inMessage. I don't want to create the inMessage. I want to create the exception list. So I will say inMessage exception equal to, we will do again inAssembly. I already explained this object. They pass the MbAssembly as argument and name it inAssembly. You could name a different one if you like to. So inAssembly, on inAssembly all this data is right here. I want to get to this position. I will say get. When I say get, look right here. You could go to back to message to this position. I want to go to exception list. You could go to global or local environment. This time I want to go to exception list. You could stop it right here, but I want to go to a root, those root tag. I want to get to this position, root tag. So that's why I said I want to complete everything and change that one back to MbElement, because this one right now to get to element. You see element. Once you're talking about element, we need to change that to MB. Once you're handling the element, we need to check to MbElement back. MbElement, this one. You need to replace that one. So the arrow will be gone. You see, now the arrow is gone because we're handling the element. That's why it is not MbMessage anymore. It is we just go to the root of the element. So once we go to root element, I want to come to the recovery exception. I want to copy that one, and I want to create I want to create same variable with the same name. Just say in, and this time I want to get to inMessage because it is an inMessage, and this time I will say get by the path. It make it simple. You could say last tag because this is the last tag. It's up to you, but I want to get to by the path. So in case if that gets changed, I'm sure it's not gonna change, but still, it is better to use the path. Get first element by path and pass whatever element to go to, and starting from the, so we get not on inMessage. We need to go to recovery because this is the same one I just copied. I want to paste it right here. See recovery exception. I want to go to this one right now. I send all this data to this MB recovery exception right here. I make it simple, so that way I make it right now I want to give a reference to each tag and pull the data from it. So I make it first simple to my coding wise. So that's why. So what I need right now, because if I need whatever data, let's say I need this one, I wanna, and this one is repeating, that's why. If it's repeating, I need that one, and also if there's a more tag repeating, let's say I need the insert, and insert I need tags again. Two type, I want to collect both of them separately. I could display this separate, or I need this one too, and name it insert tags text. Just you could use it as a string. You could display it at the same place, so let's initialize it too as a null. It's a Java code. Up to this is a Java code. I'm sure you know. We just declare two variable and initialize it with null value because we want. And also right now I want to get the file location too. This one give me the location of. You see the file is located on this location. Service. You could go. I want the file location too. I don't want to create because for this two is create, but this one I'm going to assign it directly to the create variable. So first I want to collect all the tags from right here, then I will use the create statement to create it. So let's use the while loop. So to collect all the text from the exception, say while, you could use the while body and condition and body. So you need to add a body. What is it? Like what body? Say the exception. If this is a till this exception is not you see this recovery, because this has a more child, one child, root tag, then child, another child. You see it's keep repeating. Like I want to go inside of each one. That's why I want to check this one if this is empty. If it's not empty, if it's not null, while it's not null, we want to do something. So what do you want to do? I want to collect all the data from right here. So that's why we're using the while loop. So you could and I wanna like I could move this one one more thing, because this is a recovery exception, if you check right here, the name get changed, recovery exception, and also is a recovery exception. If you check the third and fourth one, they might change it. You need to use the while loop a little bit with it. If loop, you see, database right now they're telling you. You see the database exception. The child get changed. The name get changed. So that's why we need to use the we need to get the name of the tag first and check if that is referring to the tag. What I will use one another string and name. Then I will use the while loop with it. So I say recovery exception dot get name. When I say get name, they give me the name from this tag. You see, whatever tag, I say just give me the name. When I say name, they just will give me the element name, and I will sign it right here. So I just get the name, the value, whatever, as a string and sign it right here. So this becomes string. So whatever would be recovery exception, next time would be database exception, and keep doing that. So we will use the if. I want to use the if condition and check which one it is. If it's recovery exception and database exception, I want to collect that text from it. Otherwise, if it's insert, I will do different thing. So I will use if. I'm sure you on a Java, I'm sure you guys know how to use the if condition and if to check something if that the match or not. Let's say if I want to use if body condition, then tag again, similar as a simple Java code. So I want to check the name. I say I want a name dot equal to. You could use this function equal to, like name it equal to what. I say I want to equal to my recovery exception or database exception. Looks, you see, database exception. I wanna equal to database exception, or I will say or. Either way is fine. Or I want to use this the or is a Java. You could check it there. It's a simple Java. I say or. You could say name equal to another condition. Either of this one is matched, do something for me, like recovery exception. Let's say change it to recover. First check the name is recovery exception. That is fine. Go to this if condition body and do something, whatever code we do. Or if is this true, one of this one is true, they will come right here. If is neither of this one is true, they will skip it. So if is one of this true, what to do? Like if is one of this true, I say take that one. I'm gonna pick all the data from tags and sign it right here. Tags equal to tags. I'm sure you know how to concatenate. The plus sign will concatenate two strings together, but not different. Like if it's number, make sure it is not number. Make sure it's a same data type. So that's why I recommend you use the same data type. If it's not, you need to cast it. Otherwise they will throw the exception for you. Say collect each one data tags and text, and where this data is coming, that will come on recovery exception dot get element by all element by path, not first element. Where is the first element? I mean same thing right here, we use it. See, first element by what? We'll use it right here too. So what I need, I just need this. Each time I need this guy, they will collect me all the data from right here on recovery or database. One of this one, database or recovery, they will collect it and add it to this one. And also I want to collect one more thing because if you check right here, this is the, if you 1 minute, it is kind of confusing, but say if you check right here, let's make it bigger. If you check right here, the recovery exception has a tags to it. This one collect this one, and if you go down, there's an insert and there's another one, and I want to see the insert tags. I create a variable, I want to collect that one as well. So what I will do, insert equal to insert plus, and same thing I will do, recovery exception and get it by path. And this time is also insert keyword. You see, we will copy that one, make sure it's the same thing, copy and using the forward slash, and they will collect that one as well. We check this two, if it's this two, collect this two data from and add it. Otherwise you could use the if condition and do something else. I want to use one. If you come right here all the way down, we see the last two is the last child, next time is insert. If it's insert, pick that one too. We will use one if, another condition, else if. Let's use the else if. Else if. You see, we're gonna use one another else if condition with the same thing. I will say if this time is an insert, because the insert are using different. I will say insert. If it's insert, do also collect the insert step for me. Let's copy that one, bring it right here, pick the insert as well, and this time is not, because we already get to this position. If it's that one, you will sign it right here, then we only put tags to insert tags, because we already would be on this position. We're gonna reference right away to tags, so we only take text. So we only take in text from it. So right now what we do, we collect this two data because it's repeating too many places. We're using while loop and we're using if condition with it. If it's this two tag, you will see it like by debug, you will see it manually. If it's this two tag, do that one, otherwise do different thing. So recovery exception, we need to move it to a next child. Each time the while loop, the first loop they will get it, there will be like never would be null, because if you not move it, and there will be infinitive and causing issue. So that's where we need that one, move it to next child. To each time we want to move it to the last child, get last child. Each time we get the last child, so we will should be okay. Once it come, they're gonna do this one, and once they get the data, they will come right here, they will sign then again the last child, like each time they okay, let's just come right. You see it coming right here. Once it come first time, they're gonna collect all data from right here, then after that they will sign the, because this is the last child, they will sign this one. Then if again they're gonna collect this data, the next one they sign the last child, and they keep doing that till the data is finished. I mean the children of the root tag is finished. So right now we're gonna create it. So we're gonna use this one to send it. Either we will use the one if more condition, but I will leave one that not make you confused. I wanna make it simple first. I want to create the output message. I want to display that one and output as a XML. Then next time I will also place it as a JSON. You could do different things, JSON or SOAP, any type you want. So let's do the output message. We're creating the output right now, and MbElement we're using because we're working with element right now. Say first time we're gonna output root. We're gonna get to output root domain. You could name it anything. Say dot get root element, because we get to a root element, then we gonna go to a domain. So let's copy it, because each time I wanna name it this one XML. I wanna name it XML, but next time I will name it JSON. Output domain XML. We get to this tag, make sure you follow the tag, this tag, and we want to create it this time. So we will create it as a last child, and the last child will be MbXML. I want to do the parsing, like do the MbXML to my, let's clean this extra code. So right now we assign domain to this one. Anything we create under this child, they will be coming the XML data type format. So we wanna what we wanna create, we will call them recovery exception or recovery detail or whatever you will you like to. But I will name it as a detail or exception detail, whatever name. I will name it as a exception detail, or so that this way become easy. I'm gonna copy that one because I keep using that one. Create, and let's create two of them in case if we need it. This one I say exception detail, exception, we will say exception details, and this would be under output domain. Say create as a, this time we're gonna create the MbElement, because that would be the element of, not the, that would be the element of my domain, MbElement. And I want to create the only that element name, so would be my element name, and null, the data is null. So I could give any name to, you could pick same name, recovery exception name or exception detail. I want to name it exception detail, that way you will see the different. So exception details. So we create that one. So let's delete that one. On the this one I want to create all the data. So once I create that one, because on the, I don't want to create another tag, and directly I want to display it. So say exception, like all my tag would be on the dot. Let me copy that one, because that way I will write less code. I'm gonna copy it up to this point. Okay, see, data is on the exception detail. On exception detail, the first tag I want, like I want to display this one, tags. I want to display it right here and rename that one. And you now add all the tag you like to, like you could right there. Let's add every 4 of them, and this time I want to display the insert text. So hard to pronounce text. And this 4 I'm gonna also, if you check, I wanna get the file too. File, you could pick label is very important. Pick the label and file and number. I wanna pick all this 4 right here. So you could, this 2 data because it was repeating many times, that's why we collected. The other you could directly sign it, like recovery exception. We are on the recovery exception. We're gonna use this type of tag, like recovery exception. Let's say what I like to go, I wanna go to file. I'm just gonna copy file. I wanna go to file location, so just put a file. File. I will turn it as a get value as a string. Make sure it's using as a string, otherwise get the value as a string and place it right here, or get value. So get value as a string or get value is up to you, but it's better to use it. So we're gonna put the recovery exception. So you will check it. Okay, recovery exception file, and keep doing that. Let me copy that one, and we will check if that cause issue. We will fix it. Yes. And what I needed for this one, I want to use number. For this one I want to use number code, or you could call them exception code, whatever you number. Make sure it's same spelling, whatever is right here you pick that one, number. And what else I need? File, I already put file, number, and label. I want to do the label. One more. You could create many more as you like to. We will create a different function that we will remove all that one code and move it to there. So that is a clean code label. Let's check the spelling, same spelling, label. Okay, like you could pick more data from there, it's up to you. So let's check this one, let's test this one if that work or not. So let's test it. Let's deploy it if giving exception or not. Okay, let's deploy and let's send message. Let's complete it. Okay, it's give me the exception. Fine. Okay, that's good. So everything is fine. See what we done? Like we getting exception detail. We replay. We get a text and we collect all the text right here. And also we collect the insert text, and they're telling me, you see, no database founded. And we also pick the label code. You see, code we put in file and label. So we did up to this point. And what we, let's say if it's JSON, what do we do if it's JSON? So even if it's a JSON, what all we do, we need to change that what do you call the XML format. Let me create 1 minute. Let me copy the one. Let's you okay. Let's comment that we're using JSON as well. Okay. Okay, what we do, we will change it to JSON. This is XML, we want to change it to JSON. Just say JSON, but just remember JSON has a one more tag, call them a data. We need to change that one to data. I'm gonna create one more tag, and because that tag is a MbElement, but I need it up to this point. It's a MbElement. We're gonna change that one to MbElement, and that MbElement I want to assign the JSON. You could say JSON, you don't need to say MbJSON, but I like to say it like that way, MbJSON dot data. I want to get, you could just double hard coding and say data, but I want to do it this way, and no data in that. So what I will do, this one I will say one more tag, name it under this one. Okay, so let's run that one and see if that works fine. Okay, it's deploy. What I will do, I don't need the debugger right now. I just want to see the data. Now it is a XML. If check, okay, no data is coming. Let's check. Okay, I put a debugger on. I'm gonna send the message one more time. Let's go inside. Okay, and you see the debugger right now. See out, we're creating the object of out, and we get to inMessage. Now we using the while loop. We see keep repeating till we pick all the text data. Okay, probably I done it quicker. Okay, let's terminate it and remove it. Because when you're doing quicker, that's why. Let's redeploy. Okay. The debugger is almost sunk. Something is wrong. Okay. Now it can again. We're gonna go inside. So let's do it slowly. I'm gonna add the breaking point right here, remove it to this one. We just come right here. If we check, we just create the XML root tag, on XML root tag. Let's move it to one. Let's check it right here. Is a JSON data detail. I think it should be fine. I don't know why it caused issue. Let me see. Okay, now we see data is coming. There's nothing, no issue, because the problem is sometimes we need to redeploy it. So that's why. See, no issue. Data come as exception, JSON. Data on tags, insert tags, code, file, label. So what if? So it's depend on you. If it's JSON, you could turn it as a JSON. If it's XML, turn it as XML. Let's, instead of we put code like that is unorganized, we need to create a function to place all the code and function that will be more clean. So, and also we will check if it's JSON, we will create JSON. If it's XML, we will create XML. We depend of the, we will check the domain, what type of domain it pass. If it's JSON, we will use JSON. So we're gonna create a function, because it is on a module level. Once you creating function is on module level. Just say public. We will create a public method. You could name it exception or whatever you want to name it. I want to use an exception. I want to use one more n with it, because in case if it's reserved keyword, I don't want to mess it up. I want to pass MbMessage first, because to check the domain, I want to MbMessage, MbMessage. Okay, I want to pass MbMessage. Give them output message. I want to pass this output message, and also I need to pass element as well, MbElement, to get an exception. That's why I will say an exception. If you come, this one I want to pass as well on a. And what else I need? Let me think for a minute. I wanna, because inMessage, I wanna pass inMessage to him. I say inMessage. Okay, this three tag, outMessage, InMessage, inMessage. I wanna pass to. Let's copy whatever code was right here, and also I wanna inMessage. I wanna create one more, make it as an element. MbElement, inMessage with a double E. It's an inMessage.getRootElement. GetRootElement. We get to this root element. So let's copy whatever code we write it right here. We and paste it there. Root assembly, we will leave that one. We're gonna leave that one. Recovery, we're gonna take all that one, because that way is clean. We're gonna call that one from different places, so we're gonna add it to this body. And this causing exception because we need to cover that one as well, because public void we need to throw the exception, so we will handle it later. So that is fine now. You see, now is even a little bit messed up, but it's better than the way it was before. See, now is a XML, this is a JSON, this is a while loop. So but I will use one if condition more to check what kind of domain is it. Then according to that we're gonna pass it data in it. Let me use one if condition to check. First I wanna get the name from I will say domain name or domain. I will say domain. It came as a inMessage. Okay, the spelling is fine. You could ignore the spelling. InMessage dot. I will get as a last child because it all the time it is the last child. If you check right here, okay, we don't have it. You will see it. Get as the last child, and we will assign it get as get last child. Get as a string. We must say it get as a string too. Get value as a string, so that way we turn the value as a string and sign it. So we will use the if condition. We're using a 2if condition. Let's say if condition. I wanna use else if too. Else if one more condition. We will check the domain. If this domain is equal if this domain is equal to whatever we pass. This is a JSON. Let's put the JSON, and this is the XMLNSC, XMLNSC. So if it's XMLNSC, do this code. Let's clean this one. If it's XMLNSC, do this code. If it's JSON, do this code. And if it's something else, you could do more, but I want to use two if condition, if and else if. You could pick different condition, blob or something different. You could even use the else condition. If it's not, do something like it is neither of this one. Okay, now we're creating check the condition. Depending on the condition we're creating data. Then first we clean it up. Let's deploy and see if that run fine. Okay, it's get deploy. I'm gonna send it because that is neither of this one. Okay, it shouldn't give me. If I check right here what I pick. Okay, this is XML. It should give me XML. Is it XML? It is JSON. We need to redeploy that because sometimes do not take it. I'm gonna clean it up. Need to redeploy it again. Sometimes do not take the code. Okay, it's clean up. Just terminate it. Nothing is coming. Okay, now it's fine. Let's check what is wrong. Slow down. Okay. Okay, let's check. The reason is because we didn't add a function. We need to call this function. Let's copy up to this point. We're gonna call it right here. We take this type from it. So we pass this 3 data. You see, we can only pass this exception. Yeah, this is MbMessage. So we pass output message in exception input root. We have made it input root too. So because this cause inMessage cause the exception. So now is inMessage exception input root exception, and if you check, so let's deploy and recheck. So all I add, I just pass my I just call my method. I call it last. You see, after the before I propagate it, we need to call it last. So let's deploy it. I just wanna like this one cause exception, because when it go over there, I wanna get it right here. Domain name root, the root tag, get last as a string domain. I'm gonna pass this one as a string to my application instead of this one, and I will replace this one as well as string. Okay. Domain. Fine. So let's check it, like deploy it. Okay. I'm gonna redeploy it. Okay, the reason is because I were using what do you call as a string. There's a no string because the JSON, the domain do not has a value in it. How should they convert it? We just pick the name of the domain, so that's why we pick the element name and we sign it right here as a string and we pass it to our application. One more thing, you see this code is repeating right here and right here. You could remove the one. Do not need to repeat those code. You could say if a JSON created up to this one, just remove MbElement JSON data and MbElement. See, this is a same tag. We just take up to right here, and you could put it right here and clean up the extra code. So when you need to move it on, but you see my point is you could fix it, because right now it take longer, because this is repeating right here is the same thing on a both if condition. If you check, you just remove the if condition, the repeat step. You could remove it because this is already declared right here, so you could remove it and just move on that up right here. So, and you don't need to use it there, so they would take time. You could remove it up to right this point, because MbElement this is repeating right here. So my point is you could, that the step is repeated right here and right here, you could pick at the I just create the same structure because I'm using different name, that's why it calls same structure and do the same thing. So let's check if it's work fine or not. You just send it, okay. See, now it's sending me XML. If it's JSON, let's do the JSON too. Pick domain as a JSON. Now work, you could pick different thing, but if it's not JSON or another, that will send you nothing because we don't have a code for that. You could pick SOAP, anything. Just now they give you a JSON right now. It's a JSON right now. Okay, now it's JSON. So now it work fine. Like whatever you send, you could make it advanced. So because it take longer as 45 minutes, you could even insert those data on a database. I probably create another video. I will insert that one and bring more clean code because still there's too much extra code in that. So see you on the next video.